Maggie sat by the kitchen window, her fingers wrapped around a mug of tea that had long since gone cold. Outside, rain traced slow, uneven paths down the glass, blurring the world beyond. The house was quiet, too quiet. At 52, she felt like life had quietly rearranged itself without asking her permission. Her children were grown now, building lives of their own in cities that felt far away. Her husband, kind but distant, was buried in deadlines and conference calls, his world lit by laptop screens and late-night emails. The laughter that once filled the house had faded into echoes. And somewhere along the way, Maggie had faded too. There was a time when she had been full of ideas, wild, beautiful ideas. She used to dream of traveling to Italy and sketching the rolling hills of Tuscany. She once filled notebooks with short stories and half-written poems. She had even begged her parents for piano lessons, her fingers itching to create music. But life had happened. Responsibilities had grown heavier. Practical choices had replaced passionate ones. Later, she had told herself, when the kids are older, when things settle down, when there's more time. But time, she was learning, doesn't wait politely. "It's too late for me," she whispered one night, staring at her reflection in the dark kitchen window. The words felt permanent, final. Then came a rainy Thursday that didn't seem any different from the rest. Maggie was scrolling mindlessly through her phone when an ad caught her eye. Local community art class, all skill levels welcome. Her thumb hovered over the screen. She almost laughed. Who am I kidding? I haven't painted since college, she thought. She could already imagine walking into a room full of confident 20-somethings, all talent and ambition. But then something small stirred inside her. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, just a quiet, stubborn spark. Before she could talk herself out of it, she signed up. The first day of class, Maggie stood outside the studio door longer than she cared to admit. Her heart thudded in her chest like she was a teenager again. She almost turned around twice. Inside, the room buzzed with conversation and the scent of acrylic paint. Most of the students were younger, bright-eyed, energetic, effortlessly bold. Maggie suddenly felt every one of her 52 years. She chose a seat near the back. When the instructor told them to begin, Maggie hesitated. Her hands trembled slightly as she picked up the brush. For a moment, the canvas felt intimidating, wide, blank, expectant. Then she made the first stroke, blue, then gold, then a streak of deep, defiant red. Something shifted. The noise in her head quieted. The doubts softened. The years seemed to melt away as color flowed freely from her brush. She wasn't thinking about dinner plans or laundry or the next dentist appointment. She wasn't worrying about whether she was good enough. She was simply creating. And it felt like breathing after being underwater for far too long. Weeks passed. Thursdays became her favorite day. Then she started painting at home. First at the kitchen table, then in a small spare room she slowly transformed into a studio. She opened the windows in the mornings and let sunlight spill across her canvases. She began writing again, too. Short poems at first, then longer reflections. Words she had buried for decades returned to her like old friends. Her laughter came back, real laughter, the kind that surprised even her. Her husband noticed the change. "You seem different," he said one evening, not with suspicion, but curiosity. "I feel different," she replied. "Not younger, not reckless, just awake." Then one afternoon, her art instructor approached her with an unexpected suggestion. The local gallery was hosting a community showcase. Would she consider submitting a piece? Maggie's first instinct was fear. The old voice crept back in. "You're not good enough. You're too old. It's embarrassing." But the new voice, the stronger one, spoke too. "Why not you?" The night of the gallery showing, Maggie stood in front of her painting, hands clasped tightly. People moved around the room, sipping wine, leaning in close to study the art. Then she saw it, a woman standing quietly before her canvas, eyes misty. "It feels hopeful," the woman said softly, "like starting over." Maggie swallowed hard. "That's exactly what it is," she replied. In that moment, surrounded by strangers admiring something she had created, Maggie felt something she hadn't felt in decades: pride. Not pride in perfection, not pride based on applause, but pride in courage, pride in choosing herself. It hit her with stunning clarity. Life doesn't end at 50. Dreams don't expire. Passion doesn't disappear. It waits, patiently, quietly, for you to return. That evening, walking home beneath a soft drizzle, Maggie didn't rush to get out of the rain. She let it fall against her face, cool and refreshing. The streetlights reflected off the pavement like scattered stars. She caught her reflection in a shop window and paused. For the first time in years, she didn't see a woman who had missed her chance. She saw a woman becoming. She wasn't invisible. She wasn't too late. She wasn't done. She was alive. And this was only the beginning of her second act.